On this week's episode, we will look at the new hire for the football team, why Marshall is taking out a lawsuit against Conference USA, and we will discuss how the basketball team is shaping up for the Sun Belt Tournament. All this and more coming to you now. Welcome to the A-Game. I'm your host, Noah C. Cornelius, alongside Chris Daniels. Jeff Marcin joins us again this week. How are you doing today?
No, I'm looking forward to another great Friday of talking sports with you guys.
Perfect. Well, to start things off, how do you guys think that the basketball team has played this season?
You know, this season has gone just as I've expected, I think, from App State standards. They've played a tough non-conference schedule, including, Duke and UNC back-to-back. They've played a lot of good mid-major teams, losing to Iona, Vermont, and Furman. And they've also won against a couple of good mid-major teams like East Tennessee State, Akron, and Hartford. So I think this season has just gone as planned. The 6-game win streak in January was big for this team, both in the conference standings and in confidence moving forward. And they've looked a lot better in these past couple of games offensively.
So the way they ended last season, they was coming in to want to prove something to this organization. They did two things that they wanted to work on. They wanted to work on the home record, and they wanted to work on the conference record, and then both. They had a 7-8 record last season, but this season they have a 12-5 record, already better than last season. And then they've also improved at home, 11-4, 6-6 away, but they really improved at home, and that's what we really wanted to focus on this season, because now that football's over, basketball has taken over as App State's main sport, and we've seen the support come throughout App State, and we've been able to embrace the basketball season. The guys have really trained themselves well throughout the couple years. You see now the seniors are playing absolutely fantastic. Adrian Delph, Donovan Gregory, Justin Forrest, all the guys have really honed their skills the last few years and became great now.
Yeah, you guys have talked about the players and the schedule, but I'm going to talk about the Mountaineer basketball fans. This was one of the highest seasons in attendance, if not the highest since the opening of Holmes Convocation Center. We had 40,000 home fans this season, 40,000. The next closest team, according to the Sun Belt website, was like 38,000. I believe it was Louisiana. So the Mountaineer fans showed out in force. Obviously great players, make great performances. Conference record shows that we're a strong team, but the fans showing out, showing this support, that's the best part of the season, in my opinion. So, guys, who would you say your regular season basketball MVP is?
Well, I think we're going to have a consensus here on the table. It's going to be Adrian Delph. Talking about the senior guards, he really separated himself from Forrest and Almonacci as, the lead dog of those three. He played the most minutes, had the most points per game at 17.2. He's also the third leading rebounder on the team. He's played himself into a Sun Belt Conference Player of the Year conversation. He's probably going to be first team all-conference as well. He's third overall in the conference in scoring, talking about points on a points per game basis. And he's also first in total points. So he's put up some impressive numbers this year. Also had a 39-point game earlier this year against Delaware. So he's been getting buckets all year long and has really proven to be the senior leader for this team.
Yeah, I got to go with Adrian Delph. Honestly, I really do feel like, even though Adrian Delph's been really great, I don't want to undermine anybody else. Donovan Gregory's been fantastic. He's shooting 50% from the field. Justin Forrest had that career game where he was able to get 2,000 points for App State in his career. So it was a fantastic season for him. But again, Adrian Delph just been absolutely incredible. You really can't undermine what he's done from last season to this season. It's such a huge jump. 13 points to 17 points. You have to acknowledge that. There's one great stat. I was reading an article. I saw ESPN. They had an article where they ranked some of the best players from each conference, and Sun Belt Conference was, of course, Adrian Delph. He's playing absolutely fantastic. 17 points per game. Even when the App State's having a slow game, he's still able to get 17 points per game. Able to put his name on the floor and be able to show App State fans that he's really devoted to bringing this franchise another, or possibly a championship.
Jeff, I'm going to leave you out to dry here because you said we were all in consensus. I'm
right.
not. Donovan Gregory is my MVP, and here's why. Adrian Delph, dang good player. 17, 5, and nearly 2 assists a game. That's good, but Donovan Gregory was the glue guy. He was like a Draymond Green type player where you got your rebounds, your assists, and your points at times. I mean, there was a game against Troy, unfortunately, when we lost, and he had 17 points, 5 assists, and 6 rebounds. And he also had 3 steals in that game. That's incredible. That's the all-around kind of guy you want on your team. But I was at that Troy game, and I interviewed Donovan Gregory, and I told him, and I asked him, I said, you had a 17-6-5 game tonight. What does that mean for you and this team? He said, man, I don't care as long if we lose. I mean, it doesn't matter if we it matters if we win, but we lost. And I was like, you know what? This guy's got a competitive spirit to him. So all respect and all the roses going to Delph, but Donovan Gregory is that dog, man. He brought that whole team together.
We alluded to it on the last show as well that, he's really improved in the scoring department as well. He's always been good at, the rebounding, passing, and of course defending, but he's really added the scoring element to his game this year, and I think that's what has put him up and over the top.
Now, every good basketball team has a great coach, and head coach Dustin Kearns has just finished his 3rd season at the helm. How has he done, in your opinion?
So first off, you just got to look at how great he is at coaching. Some games, some of the defense is kind of lackluster, but some games, App State's really taking the control on the scoring side, on the steal side, rebounds, stuff like that. But one thing I really want to talk about is how well he's done. This is his 3rd season now. He's now going to his 3rd season with back-to-back-to-back wins. We've never had that. The last season, he had back-to-back. That was the first time since 2009, 2010, 2011. So obviously, he's done great things for the organization. Obviously, he's going to be one of those head coaches for App State that you're going to look at and be like, oh, wow, he did such great things for us. And you know why? Because he brought us to the March Madness tournament. He had us really with the big dogs. Even though it was the starting first 4, he still had us there. So you have to give him that credit. He's done a fantastic job, and I expect him to be even better next season.
Yeah, and to put it in the short terms, it's been a success so far. He's got a 53-39 record. And of course, you mentioned it, Chris, the Sun Belt Tournament Championship, a trip to the NCAA tournament, which is, that's huge. Only 3rd time in our school's history. You said it again, the 3 consecutive winning seasons. That's the first time since 97 through 2000. So he's really changed the culture here. He's really getting the people of Boone invested in basketball. You said earlier that, we're a football school and we may always be a football school, but, we're really getting the fans more involved with the basketball program, and I think that's a great thing.
All right, we have to take a short break, but when we come back, we will have more from Jeff and Chris, including their reactions to baseball's opening weekend.
It's time for Sports Wrap on 90.5 WASU FM.
Unpredictable NC State can be on a
That is true. I feel like they do have one of these games in this part of the season every year. I'm not going to get into a big discussion about expanding it. I definitely think it should be maybe capped at 8 teams, maybe 6.
Because 228 yards on the ground, that's compared to a total of 55 for Coastal Carolina. I count one team of the 6 games that they have played this year that was in the playoffs last year.
Hi, neighbor.
I'm Ryan Perone.
And I'm Elena Jones.
Join us every Tuesday at 10 a.m. as we explore the events, organizations, and people that make the High Country so special.
You can tune in on Channel 198 for Spectrum customers, Channel 20 or 1020 for SkyBest customers, or Channel 23-3 on campus.
Also, make sure to follow us at Instagram at @hi_neighbor_apptv for up-to-date coverage of events happening and student-made content. Until then,
bye, neighbor.
Connected Cultures is back for spring 2022.
We'll be talking to you about Mexico, South Africa, the Netherlands, and so much more.
You can watch us every Friday at 10 a.m.
Either online at watchapptv.com or on campus on channel 23.3.
Bye.
What's going on?
Up late.
What is that?
Sketch show.
Oh boy, when does it air?
Sunday night.
What time?
9 p.m.
Thanks.
App TV's gaming news channel is back for season 8. Pixel Peek is your source for the latest gaming news, reviews, gameplay, and much more. Be sure to check out our new season bi-weekly at apptv.com or any of these channels every Thursday.
Welcome back to the A Game. I'm your host, Noah C. Cornelius. So the Sun Belt tournament is coming up. It's just around the corner. So how do you guys think App will fare?
You know, I think they got a pretty good shot again to go all the way, take it the distance. You know, I mentioned on the last show last week that, you know, it's a lot of the same core, and they needed to pick up wins in these last couple of games, and they've done exactly that. And they've also looked pretty darn good doing it offensively. Scored 78 points against Little Rock, which is, you know, kind of out of our comfort zone. But, you know, if not App in this men's tournament, I'm looking at Troy. They're the best team I've seen so far among teams not named App State. Offensively, they've just got some bucket getters, so I think that they are the biggest threat to App State. Of course, Texas State is number one, so, you know, maybe they are the biggest threat, but if I had to pick, I would go with Troy on the men's side as well.
Yeah, for Troy, they've been absolutely incredible, but I don't want to make this a Troy show, but I do want to big up App State. They've done well, but we got to touch on this Troy thing because they lost the first game 68-53. It's not good at all. 67-61 the second game. So obviously, Troy has our number. Georgia State has our number. We lost to them 58-49. We beat them 80-81, but like I said last week, 80-81, that's not really such a big gap. And these are some of your biggest competition in this tournament, so you have to beat them beforehand. You know, we're coming into this tournament with a few games under our belt that we won, our 2-game win streak. So obviously, we're doing pretty good right now. I have Troy honestly winning this tournament because of the fact that App State should be that team that Troy is right now. And right now, they're not because they can't beat Troy. It's just as simple as that. But for the women's, I will take Troy as well. And this is just basically going on how bad App State's women's basketball has slipped this last few weeks. They're now sitting at 6. This is not where we want it to be at the start of the season. 6 is not good at all. So Troy, I don't know what it is with Troy with this team, but they have our number, men's and women's. It's not good. So hopefully we do not match up with them, and I think we should be fine.
I want to give respect where it's due because App State has the most wins in the conference for the men's team. The men's team is 12-5 in the conference. Texas State is 11-3. We did drop 2 conference games like near the end of our season, but like when you look at the standings by itself, it doesn't show the whole picture. Like, yeah, maybe Texas State deserves to be 1, but Troy is 3, and we're both saying that Troy's going to win the Sun Belt Conference. I mean, I think App State, they do have the 12 conference wins for men's basketball. I think that they have a shot to win. But I also want to give a quick shout out to the women's basketball team. They are 6. It is what it is. But they could surprise when they go down to Pensacola later next month.
And to your point, Noah, I think App State is going to win this tournament. I just said if Troy, you know, if we match up with them, it's not a favorable one. But talking about App State, I mean, we can do it. We've got the weapons to do so. So hopefully we show out next week.
All right, guys, so we're at that time of the month. March Madness is right around the corner, and the March Madness Committee has released their potential top 16 teams for the tournament. What are your thoughts on these teams?
Honestly, Gonzaga is really the clear favorite for this tournament right now. But as a Duke fan, I just have some bias. I think that they just really failed this season. Obviously, they have one of the biggest prospects in the league, you know, in the ACC, in Pablo. But he hasn't done much to even be able to consider this team as a top 5 team at all. You know, this team's really slipped. They lost a lot of games that were really winnable. Games against Florida State, games against Virginia, all 1-point games, the games that they should have won. I feel like, you know, this is Coach K's last season. You really got to make sure that he's really going on top. But I don't know if they could do that this season. You know, they will. It really just depends on how they come into this tournament. As we talked about with the Sun Belt tournament, you got to come in hot. If they do not come in hot, it's not going to be good at all. But if I had to talk about this top 16, I do think the top 5 is really good. It's Gonzaga, Auburn, Arizona, Kansas, and Baylor. You know, Baylor really, in my opinion, really shocked me last season because they weren't really on my radar as a Duke fan. I paid attention to Duke, so they really shocked me. I do like this top 5, though.
Yeah, this 1 and 2 line is going to be really interesting to see how it shakes out because I think, you know, everyone ranked 1 through 7 has got a shot at that 1 seed. Gonzaga, Auburn, Arizona, Kansas are the current number 1s, but Baylor, Kentucky, and Purdue are those 5 through 7 teams that can really contend for those spots. Purdue being, I think, the best team of that group. Kentucky's currently dealing with some injuries, so that could give them some trouble as well. I think the committee's got it mostly correct as of right now. The biggest omission for me, though, was Houston not being in there at all. They're 23-4 on the season and ranked number 4 in the net rankings, and they are not in the top 16 at all. So I found that pretty interesting.
I don't really have a problem with this top 16 as it is. Maybe that's because I don't watch as much college basketball as I should, and I'm what they call a casual. But I really don't have that much of a problem with the top 16. The one name that does stick out to me, though, is Providence at 15. I was like, Providence? Who's Providence? I know, casual. So I looked it up online, and I was like, wow, Providence is first in the Big East, you know? So I guess they deserve their roses, too. I mean, Providence is there, but I want to talk about how North Carolina isn't on this list and how they do not deserve to be on this list. Because, like, even for, like, non-huge basketball watchers, like, not college basketball watchers, like me, like, not seeing North Carolina on this list is a testament to how bad they've been this season. But for the 16 teams on this list, they're fine.
I wouldn't say they've been bad this year. They certainly haven't been playing up to their standards, I think, is the best way to put that. They haven't beaten anyone good, and they're on the bubble, but it is a little bit surprising that it's like the second or third straight year that you don't even see them in contention. So that is a bit odd.
Well, we don't know where the Tar Heels are, but App State baseball opened up their season against Campbell and Duke. How do you guys think that the team did?
You know, I think the first 4 games have been a success, although it's a 500 record. 4 games going 2-2. Campbell's a very solid team to go on the road and win that series. Is pretty impressive, taking 2 of 3. The starting pitching was the most impressive to me. Xander Hamilton on Saturday went 6 1/3, allowed 1 hit, and struck out 10. So that was an impressive outing. And then against Duke at the DBAP, Durham Bulls Athletic Park, they played pretty well. They had the lead for most of the game, but the relief pitching let them down a little bit. But overall, I think you got to be optimistic if you're an App State baseball fan.
Yeah, I know. The last 2 weeks I talked about how bad they were on the road, and they kind of shocked me. You know, the first game they had 0-9. It's not something that we wanted to come out with, but I got to give them the credit. They did bounce back, and they did win 2 back-to-back games away. So obviously they built that confidence for their away games. Like I talked about last 2 weeks, it doesn't matter who you have at the pitching, at the bat, at the third, at the second, first. It doesn't matter as long as you can win on the road, and they proved that to me. So impressive for you guys. I really do like how they did play in that second game on February 19th. They had 2 home runs in the 8th and 9th, 2 of the biggest plays of that game. And obviously, as we know, baseball, the 8th and 9th innings is one of the most important. You cannot score in any of the innings. You have to score in the 8th and 9th. So they did that.
Yeah, my hot take is that it's just too early in the season for me to really come up with any solid analysis. We're 2-2, 500, losing game 1 streak. I mean, we did lose that game against Campbell at Campbell. Lost 0-9, but again, 2-2 on the season. It's too early for me. I got to go to some more games. But again, 2-2, not bad so far. We'll see how the rest of the season plays out. Anyways, Jeff, thanks again for joining us on the show this week. And after the break, who is joining the App State football team as the offensive coordinator?
Do you like video game news and entertainment? Well, App TV's original gaming news channel Pixel Peak is back for our 8th season. Every other week we discuss news stories, give a game review, display gameplay, and more. Be sure to check out our new season bi-weekly on Thursdays at 3 on WatchAppTV.com, SkyBest Channel 20 and 1020, Spectrum Channel 198, or on App State's Campus Television Channel 23.3. Thanks for stopping by, and we hope to see you next time on Pixel Peak.
Boy, oh boy, what to watch on a Sunday night?
What are you doing tonight at 9 p.m. on a Sunday?
I've already rejected you like 5 times. Shut up.
I'm so bored. I have nothing to do tonight, this Sunday night at 9 p.m. tonight on Sunday night.
What are you doing tonight at 9?
I already rejected you 5 times. Shut up.
We know what to do tonight at 9.
Have you been there the whole time?
We're not here.
Does anyone else see them?
See who?
What are you talking about?
Oh my god, we could totally watch Up Late App State on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. on tonight's Sunday night at 9 p.m. tonight's on Sunday.
Oh my god, how darn tootin'.
It's time for Sports Wrap on 90.5 WASU FM.
Welcome back to the A Game. I'm your host, Noah C. Cornelius. The men's basketball team took on South Alabama in their final home game of the 2022 season. Let's take a look. Starting off, Gregory finds Delph on the outside for three. Then, up next, Delph, once again, another three-point shot. Is he done? Yeah, he's done. Nah, I'm just kidding. Here he goes for a third straight three-point shot. He had 20 points on the game. And then a block by C.J. Huntley and Justin Forrest recovers. Michael Almonacci from the wing, swish. Nothing but net. And then Donovan Gregory finds James Lewis Jr. down low for the two-hander dunk. And then Delph, once again, dunk. But this time, C.J. Huntley. At this point, disrespectful. Justin Forrest, three-point shot, calls the crowd, lets them know what's up. And then Delph hits another 3-2. There were raining threes all night. And then James Lewis Jr. with another dunk, dunking all over him. And again, this man was dunking all night. And then Justin Forrest, Steph Curry, swish. Mountaineers got the dub, 69-51.
The women's team took on Troy last Thursday. Roll the tape. Starting off with Faith Alston with a great move inside, she shakes off the contact. There's Michaela Porter with a nice pump inside. Looking for a quick pass to Carter for easy through there. Another great pass by Porter there. She finds the ledge for yet another Mountaineer three. Now it's Porter getting some three-point action of her own from nice feed by Biggett. Then Porter, a smoothier layup, bringing yet another easy basket. Finally, we see Alston showing off her skills in the paint for layup over two Troy defenders. They unfortunately could not get the job done and lost 89-56.
App State football has announced the hiring of Kevin Barbay as the new offensive coordinator. Barbay comes to the high country from Central Michigan, where he served as their offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. Let's take a look at what Coach Barbay had to say after his first practice.
Guys, my name is Kevin Barbay. I'm the new offensive coordinator and quarterback coach. I am so excited to be here with such a storied program and a great winning tradition.
Last season, the Chippewas averaged 32 points and 445 yards per game. Barbay's offense also allowed for Lou Nichols to lead the country in rush yards last season with 1,848 yards. Barbay will have the veteran help of Chase Bryce to lead his offense next season with the support of dynamic duo of Nate Noel and Cameron Peoples in the backfield. We will see Coach Barbay's offense in action September 3rd against UNC here in Boone.
Former App State defensive back Tay Hayes has been drafted by USFL side Birmingham Stallions. Hayes went undrafted in 2019 and eventually signed as a free agent with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hayes bounced around with 4 other NFL teams, including the Carolina Panthers. Hayes was drafted as the second pick in the 9th round by the Birmingham Stallions. The USFL season is scheduled to start April 16th and run through early June. After the break, why Marshall is taking out a lawsuit against Conference USA, and how did the women's track team perform in the Sun Belt Championship?
Guys, we need to film a promo. Does anyone have any ideas?
Jack Black gave me a magic sack with a photograph from that song by Nickelback.
Okay, I got one, guys. What do you call a snail on a ship?
I hope you explode. Tell the camera when the show is.
Up Late App State on
Welcome back to a brand new season of Can't Think Straight. I'm Harriet.
And I'm Nate. Come join us Fridays at 9 p.m. for comedy and queer-oriented content.
You can tune in on watchapptv.com or any of these channels below.
Also, check out our Instagram at Can't Think Straight App TV. Can't wait to see you there.
Bye.
This spring, look toward App Avenue on App TV to see a new legacy be written on random days of the week. No, seriously, this show will literally be airing any day of the week, so stay glued to those screens. We'll see you out there. Memories. A sweet retrospective look at the past. However, the past has, well, passed. And now, a new and better crew looks toward the horizon and marches toward Appalachian State head-on. This spring, look toward App Avenue on App TV to see a new legacy be written on random days of the week. No, seriously, this show will literally be airing any day of the week, so stay glued to those screens. We'll see you out there.
Appalachian Avenue!
Hi, I'm Kinsey Adams.
And I'm Jalen Sturdivant. Connected Cultures is back for spring 2022.
We'll be talking to you about Mexico, South Africa, the Netherlands, and much more.
We've got great interviews with staff and students.
Seth will show us how to make some delicious meals.
We'll get you connected to the amazing cultures around the world.
Tune in every Friday at 10 a.m. for new episodes of Connected Cultures.
You can watch online at watchapptv.com or on campus on channel 23.3.
Bye.
Welcome back to the A Game. I'm Noah C. Cornelius alongside Chris Daniels. Big news out of the Conference USA this week, as Marshall is now suing the Conference USA to speed up the process of leaving. Marshall is looking to leave Conference USA to join the Sun Belt Conference this summer. Conference USA has already released their schedule for the 2022 season, which does include Marshall, along with Old Dominion and Southern Miss, who are also looking to join the Sun Belt Conference this summer. A spokesman for Marshall Athletics had this to say about the situation. Quote, "For more than 2 months, Marshall University has attempted to reach a resolution with Conference USA regarding our decision to not participate in the league after this academic year." End quote. According to CUSA bylaws, teams are required to give 14 months notice before exiting the league. Marshall states that they have tried 3 times to notify the conference, with the first of these notices occurring November 1st. Conference USA has not made any comments regarding this new lawsuit.
Mountaineer baseball player Xander Hamilton earned Sun Belt Pitcher of the Week after the team's opening weekend. Hamilton held Campbell, a top 30 team, to only a single hit through 6 innings. Through the 6 innings, Hamilton threw 10 strikeouts, which ties for the second most by any App State pitcher since 2013. Hamilton will be back in action March 1st against South Carolina.
The women's track team competed in the Sun Belt Championship, finishing 6th overall. Day 1 saw Peyton Simmons earn a personal best in the long jump to notch a silver medal. The distance medley team of Alexis Savoda, Arabian Lily, Carson Kane, and Jasmine Donahue were also able to place in the top 3, grabbing the bronze medal. Simmons didn't hold back in Day 2 of the competition, winning back-to-back triple jump titles. Jada Branch also landed in the top 3 for the triple jump event, landing a bronze medal. With the indoor season now over, the team will now shift their focus to the outdoor season starting March 18th at the 49er Classic. Well, that's all the time we have for you this week, sports fans. I'm Noah C. Cornelius.
And I'm Chris Daniels. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the A Game Sports. And we will see you next week on the A Game.